Today we talk about the almighty Sucho, who has a new badass updated look. He actually looks way more intimidating now. And yeah, we're going to go over basically all of his changes since the last recent update, and we're going to see if he is worth growing. Now last time when I did the Is It Worth Growing series with the Sucho, I sort of said that he was not worth growing. I just thought he was very underrated, underwhelming at the time. It wasn't as strong. But now, given his new look and some changes to his moveset, I feel like he's actually a lot better. But is he still good enough to grow, or should you spend your time growing something else? And you guys can always comment below your opinions on the new updated Sucho, and don't forget to hit that thumbs up. So the Sucho does have 700 HP, which is actually the third highest HP in the carnivore category, so that's actually pretty good. He has 5,000 combat weight, which is the same combat weight as a Sarco, but I think around 5,000 can be considered really strong. Considering the max is 7,000 combat weight, 5,000 is like in between. So you get that sweet spot where you can do good damage to any mid-tier to low-tier dinos. And he's actually pretty fast as well. Now the Sucho's sprinting speed is only 950, which is about 50 less sprinting speed than the Allosaurus. So even though he may not be the fastest, he still has some pretty decent speed. And I'm telling you, these things you really have to worry about because they can be very deadly. And I can't get over how he looks. Just his face, like the new updated look, is so much more intimidating and better than what they had before. And now we go over the moveset, which they did do a few changes to it, and it's actually pretty good changes. And let's go over it starting from left to right. So for head attack, it's still the standard bite that causes medium damage, and that medium damage is 50 damage per bite. Now what they added was senses, so you have two different new senses here. You have nictitating membrane, which allows you to see clearer underwater. And then you have Drench Blows, which deals 10% increased damage to wet targets. And we're going to go over that in a second. For front limb, you have a Claw Attack, which is still pretty standard. It does 40 damage with 0.5 bleed. Now for hide, we do have two options here. You have Streamlined, which increases your swim speed, or you have this Scales right here, which dries out much slower while on land. So when you come out the water, you're going to be wet. This Scales allows you to dry out much slower. Although I have yet to see the benefit of that, but we'll go over that in a second. For legs, we have Web Feet, which I don't think he had before. If he had this before, let me know. But I think they just added this after the update, where he gets increased swimming speed by 10% and decreases swim stamina drain by 20%. That's actually really good. And then for tail, they do have Paddle Tail or Tail Attack, which causes knockback. And the Paddle Tail increases your swim speed and turn speed by 10%. So you could really make him a beast in the water if you put all the perks on or abilities on that lets him swim faster and move faster. He could be a force to be reckoned with in the water. And if you put on the nictitating membrane, which helps him see clearer underwater, that can help as well. So Drenched Blows. Let's discuss what this means. Deal 10% increased damage to wet targets. And you might ask yourself, what is wet targets? Does that mean when they're in the water? I'm going to show you what I think it means, and if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. So normally if you were to go in the water, and let's go all the way in here, when you come out, you should see like water dripping off of your body. You can see off the tail right there, we have water dripping off. That means you're wet. And then when that water stops dripping, that means you're not wet anymore. Now when it comes to the senses, you deal 10% increased damage to wet targets. So if a dino comes out of the water and you see water dripping from him like this, that means you will be able to do 10% more damage to him. That's insane, and that's going to make aquatic battles a lot more entertaining and kind of, you got to be really careful now. And it seems like it lasts a while. Like I got out of the water, it's been like 30, almost a minute, and it's still dripping. Like I'm not even dry off yet. Now when it comes to the hide, as far as this new Scales, this lets you dry out much slower while on land. But if someone can let me know in the comments, what is the benefit of this hide? Because I don't see a benefit of it. I mean, literally any other dino that has this sense on will be able to do more damage to me if I'm drying out slower, if that makes sense. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something on that one, but you could let me know in the comments. And now we're going to try the nictitating membrane, which helps you see clear underwater. We're going to see how clear it really is. Oh wow, okay. It's actually a lot clearer. Ooh, look at these frogs. That's so cool. Yeah, so it looks a lot clearer when you have this nictitating membrane on, and I think all aquatics have that sense where you can put it on and then you can see clearer underwater. I mean, I wish this was an automatic ability and not something we had to set on, But either way, this ability can definitely be helpful. So you can play around with your senses, see which one you like better, and go from there. Now the things I do not like about the Sucho. Now out of all of the aquatics, Sucho is one of the slowest swimmers. According to the stat chart, the Kiweki, the Spino, and the Sarco can swim faster than the Sucho. Although I never did a race with Sucho and Spino before, but I would think the Sucho would be a little bit faster than the Spino. But according to the stats, the Spino is actually a little bit quicker in water. Now he may look fast right now because I put on all the abilities that make him swim faster, so you can see how fast he can really swim when you put on all of his actual swimming buffs. And I guess my only other critique would be his moveset. Although they added in senses, they added in some hide and legs and adjustments like that. But I feel like his moveset is pretty basic. I mean, he has a bite and a claw. That's it. I can't add no more moves. He has no more moves to set. So I would have loved to see a more variety of moves. Maybe some movesets that only he would have and not anyone else. Maybe that's just me. That's the one thing I just didn't like about him, because he only had 2 movesets. I feel like that kind of limited him for a PvP battle. But I guess now with the new senses and new stuff they added to him, and his new intimidating look, he could actually be a lot better. So the question is he worth growing? And I think last time I said no. This time, I'm going to say yes. I think he actually looks badass. This is probably one of my favorite looking dinos in the game, and I think you should definitely give it a try, and I think he would not disappoint, especially with water combat. I think he could be really good, and man, is he a fucking badass. Let me know in the comments, do you think he's worth growing? Hit that thumbs up if you guys love his new look, and don't forget to subscribe for more content.